What is up, all of ye beautiful nerds from around the world? Thanks for tuning in. This is one of our fan chats. I'm, of course, Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. These are new things over here, guys. I really want to start doing a lot more live streams with you guys. Just it feels like an awesome way to kind of connect with you, have conversations, make it more than just like me making videos and then comments and stuff like that. Like, I really want to interact with you guys. Funny story, this stream did go live 16 minutes ago at 11:30, and I was going and I was doing my thing, and I'm like, yo, why is nobody coming into this stream? I was like, what's happening? I had the stream on private because the last time I was streaming was with Patreons, sort of private. So we do exclusive streams with the Patreons where we talk about the business, we talk about things behind the scene. It's really like intimate. And so I was streaming to no one for a little bit there, which was completely on me. A pretty stupid thing on my part. But yeah, so we're here. We're here. Hey, what's up, everybody? See you guys coming into the chat. That's awesome. Happy Saturday morning to everyone. You know what I was thinking about when I was thinking of sitting down and doing this stream? I was like, man, this reminds me of like the Saturday morning cartoon feeling. You know what I mean? Where like you get up, you're so excited, your cartoons are coming on. Do you guys remember that? I mean, nowadays the kids, man, they're like super spoiled. They can get like cartoons anytime, like boom, on their smartphones or whatever like that. But back in the day, man, we had to get up early on Saturday mornings and check that stuff out. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I see a lot of love. I see a lot of love in the chat. Yeah. What's up, Kate? What's up, girls with sabers? Chris Kidd, Theo 20, Matt Gray, everybody. You guys are all awesome. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the love. So, the way this is going to work is like super interactive. I'm going to really do a lot of Q&A in this thing because I just want to talk with you guys. I want to talk with you about Avengers 4. Just have fun, man. I just want to have fun with you guys because I am pretty hyped for Avengers 4. I think most Marvel fans, most fans of comic book movies are pretty freaking hyped for that. So we'll do that for a while. I'm so weird. It's great. Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. So I'm gonna talk about some of the things that we know about Avengers 4, speculate about some of the things we think is gonna happen. If you want to do a super chat, it supports the channel, it supports me, it's awesome. I appreciate it. I will answer every single super chat. But honestly, if you don't have any loot, don't worry about it. Just hit me up with some questions. We will definitely be diving into questions and Q&A with you guys. So like no worries either way, okay? So let's just kind of get into this. I'll just kind of ramble for a little bit, do what I do, and then we'll jump into Q&A. So, guys, I was thinking about this when we first saw the Avengers movie, right? When we first saw Thanos at the end of that movie, like how hype were you guys? Did you know who Thanos was at that point? Did you not know who Thanos was? I mean, let me know in the comment section. As a big comic book fan and a comic book reader, not only was I like super into like who Thanos was, but interestingly, and this is a super nerdy story, I was really into HeroClix. And HeroClix just did an Infinity Gauntlet event where you get like a little Infinity Gauntlet and you played through the Thanos Quest storyline where he gets all of the gems from all of those entities, the elders of the universe, you know what I mean? The runner, the gardener, all of those people. But yeah, it was I remember that I was just so hyped, right? I was so hyped. And then, they sprinkle Thanos here and there. They sprinkle the gems and everything. And we get to this point now where, when we get to Infinity War, like, guys, Infinity War, holy crap. Like, that movie blew me away. Like, that movie it was an experience. You know what I mean? It was more than just like a movie. It was an experience. And it has sort of built into it, sort of caked into it, this big, long history with these films and these characters and all of the things, you know what I mean, that come with that, the unprecedented success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we get to this point now where we've got Thanos and, he's just trashing the Avengers, like the way that the movie goes down. And before the film, I remember it was speculated. It was like, well, are they going to do the snap? Are they going to do the traditional comic book story when it comes to Thanos? Because, the MCU does a lot of good comic book stuff, but they adapt in weird ways, right? Like, so Civil War in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is nothing like the Civil War from the comics. Do you know what I mean? Um, he's not. I see what you're saying there, Trev, and I totally agree with the Thanos thing. But I like what they did with the cinematic universe, just so you know. But guys, I mean, I was just so blown away that they did the snap, that they end in that sort of a way. I remember I sort of called it as we led up to it, as we found more and more out. Um, the fact that they leave us on that kind of a cliffhanger, and we're going to get into this next movie and see how this all goes down, see how this all ends, is like absurd. We are so lucky to be experiencing this. Like that's kind of what I feel. Like I'm just so, as a nerd, like this is, we're living in this golden age, man. It's like it's absolutely crazy. And you know, I could rave about Infinity War forever. But let's get into a little bit of Avengers 4 talks, and talk about some of the things that we know when it comes to Avengers 4, and then speculate about some other things. So I believe the first thing that that happened when it comes to Avengers 4, the first thing that we found out was when they made the announcement that Infinity War was going to be part 1 and part 2. Do you guys remember that, when it was like, this is part 1 and part 2, when they made that big announcement for their slate and it all led towards Infinity War? It's like, it's crazy. It's like, yo, like we're getting it and it's 2 movies? Holy crap. I was like, yo, this is crazy. We're getting 2 movies? It's it's amazing. So that was sort of the first hint, and they did sort of a that first video with Tom Holland and Peter Quill and Tony Stark, man, and they're just chilling there and they're talking about the movie and how unprecedented it is. And you see the book, the big Infinity Gauntlet super book that has all those tabs in it, which I believe that big graphic novel has um, Thanos Quest, Infinity Gauntlet, and maybe even Infinity War in it, right? Um, and then they had the Avengers Disassembled book, and they're drawing from all of that. So that was sort of the first hint at what we would be getting for Avengers 4. Now, obviously, after we saw Infinity War, we had an idea of the context for the 4th movie. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but um, when we saw the leaked photos with Captain America, Ant-Man, and Iron Man, and they look like they're from Avengers, the first Avengers movie, that actually came out before we even saw Infinity War. And we were like, yo, what's going on? Are they going back in time? You know what I mean? Like, are they going back in time? That's pretty crazy. And so that was like the first hint that we would maybe be getting time travel when it comes to Avengers 4. But then we got this plot leak, okay? And I should say here, guys, this is slightly spoilery, because what we're going to get into here is we're going to talk about this first plot leak, which I believe to be the only legitimate plot leak, the only real sign of what is to come when it comes to Avengers 4. So I guess slight spoiler warning, I guess, for anybody that doesn't want to be that have that stuff going. But guys, this plot leak, and the reason we believe this plot leak, and I said this on the show on Friday. Yo, Cap is definitely dying. We'll get into that in just a second. Cap is definitely dying. I see you guys chatting. Um, the the plot leak, the reason we believe this plot leak is because this person also leaked stuff for Infinity War, and they got stuff right. And this stuff's kind of crazy. Like, I remember when, like, James Rosile, he told me about the Gamora thing, and I was like, nah, there's no way they're gonna do that. That's crazy. But the guy that leaked that, the reason that people were talking about that, and the Red Skull, by the way, was because this guy's attached to production, right? And so it's really hard to get stuff past the internet. This guy's attached to production. He leaked stuff on Reddit, and because he got stuff right, um, yeah, the Little Jake 1.7. I feel you, dog. I'll talk about that in a second. Um, yeah. So this leak, essentially, we believe this guy because there was precedent. He got stuff right, and we think that some of this is going to be true. This is, in my opinion, the only legit plot leak that's out there. And basically, the plot leak centers around the quantum realm, which was this thing that, you know, obviously in Ant-Man played a big role. You see it in Doctor Strange actually a little bit when he's going through the different realities and stuff like that. And the idea here in this leak is that they will use technology, like Tony Stark will use technology to go into the quantum realm in order to have gems, like to get their own set of Infinity Stones. So in the comic books, this would not work. At least not in the way we understand the stones to work in the comic books. Because in the comics, the gems are unique to a universe. And there's a couple of cool examples of when this happens in the comics. Like, if you guys ever read like the Hickman run, Time Runs Out, there were these planets that were colliding, right? Pardon me. These Earths were colliding from different universes. And at one point, the Illuminati, including like Cap, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, a bunch of people, they utilize the gems, they make their own gauntlet, and and Cap wields the gauntlet. It's a super dope scene. You guys should read this. He uses the gauntlet to try to push away another Earth. Okay? But because the gauntlet and the gems only work to their native universe, it doesn't work. Like, it sort of works. It pushes the stones away a little bit, and then all the stones like break. All the gems break. It's crazy. There's another example in Secret Wars, in the Jonathan Hickman Secret Wars, where all of the stones, like T'Challa, the Black Panther, uses a gauntlet on Battleworld. But the way Battleworld worked, guys, was it was all these it was like a bunch of different places from universes that were sort of picked together and put together on one planet. And the thing was, T'Challa could only use the gauntlet at this one part on Battleworld because all of the stones that were in that gauntlet were from that native universe. That universe, which was at that part, yeah, definitely, Kate. That's a good call, guys. If you want to do me a big favor here and drop a like on the live stream, it does help the stream out. It will help us out. So feel free to drop a like on the stream. I would really appreciate it. Thank you for pointing that out, Kate. I gotta get better at these call to actions. You know what I mean? But yeah, so the gems only work to their native universe. That's a comic book rule, but we don't know if that's the way they work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they take different liberties. They just do things differently, right? So the idea in the leak is that due to the quantum realm, they will go and get gems from different places in time and essentially have two sets of gems. So they will be fighting Thanos with a gauntlet, and it'll be gauntlet on gauntlet, right? Which sounds so crazy to me. Sounds so insane. Now, we don't know if that is exactly the way that it's going to go down or not. But when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. The quantum realm gives all these different powers and abilities. Like, the Ant-Man and the Wasp is a very important film to watch, guys, when it comes to Avengers 4. Because if you look at the Ghost character, it's like she's existing in multiple realities and multiple universes all at once, right? That's how she's able to like phase. She shifts in and out, right? It's a pretty crazy thing, and I think it has to do, yeah, Infinity Armor. Like, it has to do with the fact that you can do that. Like, you can have other universes in our own. Like, so essentially, what I think is going to happen is via the quantum realm. Because if it was time travel, if they were just using time travel, the gems would like disappear from Thanos and it would be causing all these different problems. But I think this is beyond time travel. I think this is quantum reality, multiversal happenings, right? And so I think that we'll be going around. This was in the leaks that we'll go around and we'll see different versions and different outcomes when it comes to um the heroes, right? So like the fact that we'll get Mjolnir back. We'll get Mjolnir back. Like, a lot of people don't understand. They're like, how can Cap wield Mjolnir? Which I think is going to happen in the movie. Well, the reason he'd be able to do this is because due to the quantum realm meddling, there will be multiple gems at one time and multiple timelines existing at one time. So in the timeline, something would change and Mjolnir would not be destroyed. But it's like what this is going to cause is like a big problem. Like, it's going to essentially, like, the universe should not work like that. Like, that's very bad. Yo, Stormbreaker is better for sure, and Thor will still be wielding Stormbreaker. But what you'll have is you'll have Stormbreaker and you'll have Cap using Mjolnir. In my opinion, that's what'll happen. But yeah, that's essentially the big story thread. Now, do we know that this is going to happen? No. And now I want to talk a little bit about like what's going on with the barf technology, right? Because I I used to think my original line of thought here was that using the barf technology, Tony would be able to go into the quantum realm and utilize that technology to basically be in there and mess with time. But I do not think that's actually what's going to happen. I think what Doctor Strange did when it comes to Doctor Strange's plan, and this is sort of speculation here, but that what's going to happen is Doctor Strange planted all these clues and stuff like throughout time. Like as soon as he got that gem and before he gave it to Thanos, he went throughout all of time and set up these little clues. Now the reason he did this is because it's the best way to hide the plan from Thanos. Because Thanos is like, omnipotent or omnipotent. I've heard you guys say you like how I say omnipotent with the omnipotent thing. Yeah, 14 million different instances. Like he looked at he looked at 14 million different outcomes, but also you have to realize that he can stop time. He can look at the past. He can look at all sorts of different things, look at other dimensions. Like Doc Strange is a beast, right? So my man is, in my opinion, planting all these different seeds, all these different breadcrumbs for Tony. So what I think is happening is that early on in the film, with the gems, or with the barf technology rather, Tony's gonna look into the past, revisit all these times in the past, and see things, see clues for what to do. And this will inevitably lead them to the quantum realm. But like, it's weird because we see Ant-Man with Tony in that scene with Cap, with the dots on them and the watches, right? So it's like, wait a minute. So does Ant-Man get out of the quantum realm first? And then they look back in time and they're looking into the clues from Doctor Strange? You know what I mean? Or is this Ant-Man and them going in the past via the quantum realm? Or are they able to utilize the quantum technology to be in the past and actually like grab something from the past using like wormholes? I don't know if that's possible, but there's something that's going on in there. You know what I mean? There's something happening when it comes to the quantum realm, when it comes to time melding and shifting. And the thing that's beautiful about this, guys, is like even if that leak is completely true, there's still a lot that we don't know. Right? There's still a lot we have no idea about. Someone was just speaking about Captain Marvel in the credits. Totally agree. Like what's going on with Captain Marvel? We don't know like exactly what she's going to be doing, how that's going to work. Now, I've had my theories and stuff like that when it comes to Captain Marvel, but overall, yeah, we really don't know. We really have no idea, other than the fact that she's going to be a big gun. And I think, by the way, the way that the MCU is heading is that we are going to be in a place where there's a lot more big guns in the galaxy, right? Because first of all, after Thanos, you need to, sorry, pardon me. But after Thanos, you need to go bigger and better. Like you need to kind of always up the stakes, so to speak. And a good way to do that is to have bigger, more powerful villains, bigger, more powerful heroes to really up the stakes and the power scaling sort of thing. I think that's definitely something that's going to happen. So that's something that we know. Now, another thing I want to talk about that we know about is Hulk. And we've seen the leaked images. You know, we got Hulk in the spandex suit. And we've seen in the leak, the original leak, that Hulk and Banner are sort of going to merge. Now, the reason that we believe this beyond just the leak is because remember, guys, when Mark Ruffalo was talking about the 3-picture arc, the 3-movie arc that he and Hulk is on, it was like while they were on the set of, yo, Jake, I totally agree with you. And I don't think she will. Like, it's weird. Maybe in the binary form, but there has to be something. Like she can't stay in binary forever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there has to be a trade-off there. But yeah. When it comes to Das Hulk, we heard Mark Ruffalo say like around the time of Thor Ragnarok that like he pitched an idea for a 3-arc solo Hulk movie. And they said they would do that movie over the next 3 films. And we know too that like after Avengers Infinity War, the reason the Hulk did not come out is not because he was afraid of Thanos, but because he was sick of being Banner's tool. He was sick of just fighting the battles that Banner wanted to fight. He had no interest in that. He was on Sakaar. He was loving it on Sakaar. The only reason he even left was because he got transformed back into Banner, and Banner was convinced by Thor to leave. And so Hulk's probably not super pumped about that whole situation, that whole scenario. But we know that that's what the direction they're going with Hulk. That Hulk's going to be intelligent. He's going to be Professor Hulk. That's why he's got the spandex and stuff on. So we know that. We're pretty dang sure we know that. We also know that Captain America is likely to die. That's true. He's likely to pass on because we know this is the last movie for Chris Evans. He made the announcement out there. I mean, he's the first Avenger. I think his sacrifice is pretty obvious. I think he'll go out in a blaze of glory. And I do believe that we're going to be getting that we will be getting Bucky Cap in the future of the MCU. And the future of the MCU is just as exciting to me. I'm super excited about it. But guys, as far as like what we know for sure when it comes to Avengers 4, the only things we really know is that the snap will likely be undone. The snap will be undone. The Avengers will win in some way. They will probably, there will be a cost to it. I believe Captain America is a part of that cost. So the snap will be undone. They will ultimately defeat Thanos. We know that Hulk is going to merge with Banner. We know the quantum realm is going to play a part, and that there will be some form of time travel. There will be something going on with the quantum realm, and it might be more than time travel. It might be time travel combined with universe hopping, alternate dimensions. We might get a lot of trippy stuff. But guys, the MCU has earned it. They did a major blockbuster movie where a ton of heroes die in a brutal way at the end of the film. For casual fans, that's crazy. For the hardcore fans, we were like, oh snap, they're doing the snap. That's crazy. But for casual fans, like, yo, that was bizarre, especially for the young people. I bet that was a bizarre thing. But the MCU earned it. So just in that way that they earned that, they earned the right to do weird time travel and quantum jumping and all sorts of craziness. Will it? That's a good question, Joe Sop. Will this movie too trippy? Will it turn off general audiences? I do not believe so because I think they've earned that right. Because the casual audiences will see that and be like, yo, that's bizarre, that's crazy, but so many people are hype on this, so many people seem to love this, it will teeter them in the way where they're like, I accept this, but I definitely want to go back and understand it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I definitely need to go back and understand it. And the Russo brothers are great at making things accessible. You know what I mean? They're great at making things accessible, so I'm not worried about that. So we know it's going to be weird. They said it's going to be weird. Like, a lot of people said this. Evangeline Lilly said this. Hemsworth said this. Ruffalo said this. Benedict Cumberbatch said this. A lot of people said this. They're like, this is going to be crazy. This movie, you thought Infinity War was crazy. Avengers 4 is going to blow you away. It's going to be way crazier. Way crazier than that. Trev, that's a good question. So those are the things that we know for sure. We also know that Doctor Strange is going to play a big role. Guys, Doctor Strange did not just make some plan and now he's gone forever. That's not how this works. He would not have given the Time Stone up without having a solid plan. I theorize, because one of the other things that's in the leak, the original leak, is that Doctor Strange has a scene. Benedict Cumberbatch did a scene on his own with a massive CGI character. Some huge CGI character that takes up a big portion of the budget. I believe that is Eternity. And I believe part of the thing that's going to happen, and this is speculation here, and then I'm done and we'll get into Q&A. Part of the thing that's going to happen is that the fact that the Avengers are going to have these other gems, and the fact that you're going to have gauntlet on gauntlet, and you're going to have like absolute pandemonium on a universal scale, will make Eternity or the Living Tribunal, Trev, come into the fight. In the comic books, the Living Tribunal, they beg him to get involved. They say, hey, man, Thanos is doing this with the gems. This is crazy. You got to stop it. You got to put a stop to this. And do you guys remember what the Living Tribunal says? I'll let that question. I want to see if you guys know. Basically, what he says is that there's nothing unnatural about what's going on. There's nothing unnatural. The stones exist. That's what they do. Might makes right. Exactly. So basically, there's nothing unnatural about what's going on. The Living Tribunal was like, look, these exist. This is a part of the universe. Thanos collected them. That's a part. The Living Tribunal said, YOLO. Oh, awesome. Girls with Sabers. Thank you for the super chat. I will definitely answer that once I get off this train of thought here. That's a great question, by the way. Great question. Um, so the Living Tribunal would not get involved because that's just what happens in the universe. Like, you've got the stones, that's what happens. That's what you do. That's what the stones are for. But if we're breaking reality and we've got two sets of stones breaking reality and they're fighting each other and like affecting reality, doing all this crazy stuff, I believe that Doctor Strange will try to get one of those entities, whether it's the Living Tribunal or Eternity, to get involved. And I think we're going to mirror very closely with what happened in the comic books, where essentially Thanos defeats Eternity and becomes Eternity. And then he's like, I don't need this body anymore. And he leaves his body behind. And I won't spoil the rest of it because I think it might legitimately happen. But that's all we know for sure, guys. Doctor Strange has a plan. That plan is going to take place. I believe he will be active in the movie. He's got that scene with the CGI thing. Time traveling, universe hopping stuff is happening with the quantum realm. Hulk is becoming Professor Hulk. Hawkeye is Ronin. The Captain America will likely perish and sacrifice himself to defeat Thanos. Captain Marvel's going to be a beast. And there was one more thing that we know. I forget. But that's all the stuff that we know when it comes to Avengers 4. So let's get into some Q&A, guys. Feel free to start dropping some questions into the chat. We're just going to have a lot of fun now. Let's just talk casually now about DOS Avengers 4. All right, so super chat from Girls with Sabers. Great channel, guys. If you love Star Wars, definitely go check out Girls with Sabers. They do great work over there. And the question is, who do you think we will see take over for Cap first, Bucky or Sam? So there's a number of reasons why I love this question. First of all, first is really cool. I like that you said first because yeah, we'll probably get different iterations of Captain America as we move on here, right? But I think it's Bucky. I think all signs point to Bucky. They've really established that relationship between Bucky and Cap. These guys like love each other, man. Like the whole Winter Soldier thing, everything that they did with that arc, it just makes sense that they would do Bucky Cap. Plus, Sebastian, he signed on for way more movies than most people. Like his contract was, I believe, for 9 films as opposed to the 6 films. And he's famously let it slip at a Wizard World that Marvel kind of told him the plan and that he's going to be Captain America. So I think it's Cap. And yeah, the frenemy. Yo, Heather, what's going on? Bucky becomes Cap to honor him, and Falcon is his frenemy so they can have a snarky biplane. Exactly. That's exactly it. And they established that in Civil War and in Winter Soldier, but mostly in Civil War. But their back and forth, their thing is hilarious. And I know some people are like, well, I don't want Falcon to be a sidekick to Bucky Cap. He would never be. That's not how that dynamic's going to work. They're both going to be working together. But, I mean, you know, Bucky has, I hate you so much. Yeah, that line was so funny. When they're in the VW bug, that's one of the funniest scenes. That's one of the things I love about the Russo brothers. Their ability to just do masterful scenes, even if they're small, masterful little scenes that just nail it. Yeah, Sam can't hold the Captain America character because he has no powers. At least Bucky is close to the same as Cap. I mean, I sort of agree. I mean, Sam does incredible though. I mean, Sam is he's got that a special talent as a pilot and that prototype suit and everything like that. I mean, they've done a great job with the Sam character in the MCU, in my opinion. I think he's awesome. Yo, Punisher should become War Machine, Jim Richardson. That's a really cool little thing in the comics. I read that. I don't think I've read all of them, but that was a really cool idea. Trev asks, think Sharon will be in A4? A lot of rumors about that, actually. A lot of rumors about Sharon being in Avengers 4. Some rumors, too, that Cap will get a send-off with Peggy. and that Cap will somehow be figured out with Peggy, which would be kind of cool. How do you think Ant-Man will get out of the quantum realm? Well, I think that has something to do with Doctor Strange, actually. I think Doctor Strange will like see that he's in there because right. Remember, guys, like 14 million different outcomes. Looks into the future, looks into the past. Doctor Strange is the linchpin of the team. He's the whole reason that they're going to win. And so I think Doctor Strange probably saw that he was in the quantum realm. Which, by the way, have you guys heard the thing where it's like that's what protected Ant-Man, so that like even if the snap had essentially like let's say that the snap by all rhyme and reason was to get Scott Lang. Well, it didn't because he was outside of the universe. He was in the quantum realm. So that didn't work. You know what I mean? So I personally think that it'll have something to do with Doctor Strange. That Doctor Strange will be like, "Hey man, you're in here. You got to do this, this, and the other thing. Here you go." And also maybe Doctor Strange will tell the Avengers to go get him. Someone should figure out that quantum machine. I mean, that quantum machine's just chilling there. It's just got to press a button and bring Scott back. You know what I mean? Okay. J Sop asks, who do you think is the other villain in A4? Kang, Annihilus, Builders, Galactus. Okay, so here's where I think this is gonna go. It's just my opinion. Um, I think that when we start universe hopping, when we start like getting into other realms and seeing other versions, that we will see these other characters. Like we might see Kang the Conqueror if we jump way forward in time, or we might see like Galactus, or we might visit a world where Annihilus has taken over the planet and the Avengers are like this ragtag like resistance almost type of group, right? That's where I think we will see some of them because I do think we will see them. I think it's a Marvel movie, so I think they'll tease some stuff and show us like awesome fan service. But I do not think there's going to be any other big villains taking the space, right? I remember people would think even after Avengers Infinity War, which I thought was weird that people thought this. But there were people that were like, okay, are we getting Secret Invasion? Now we're moving on to the Scrolls. I was like, what? What? You don't think we're going to conclude the arc, the thing that's going on with Thanos? Guys, it's all about Thanos. They got to beat Thanos. This is his thing. You know what I mean? So I don't think Annihilus or any of these guys, the Builders, any of that is going to play a major role. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, exactly. The visions from Age of Ultron. Heather Long's onto something there with the visions from Age of Ultron. Yep. Good stuff. What do you guys think of Ronin? Hawkeye Ronin too. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section too, because I'm pretty hype on it. I hope that he stays Ronin, even if they undo it and his family comes back. Bob asks me my opinion on the leaked suits. I like the leaked suits. I'm a fan of the leaked suits. I feel like I'm doing a Seinfeld thing. What is the deal with these new suits? They're all white. They're too shiny. Thor looks too shiny. But no, I think they look cool, man. They look like super science fiction-y, future foundation-y. You know what I mean? They're cool. I think they look sweet. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. But I get it. Like, look, it's subjective. Some people are like, these look ridiculous. And that's fine. You can think that. It's cool, man. Ah, Heather. Yo, Heather is like one of my favorite people. They won't be shining for long. I love that. That's so true. Autocorrect is stupid, but I saw what you said. I got what you said. You're good. Elliot, thank you, man. Thank you for the Seinfeld. Thank you for liking my Seinfeld impression. I watched a lot of Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. Love that show. Great show. They are going to bring. I'm so excited to see what they do with the Fantastic Four. I don't know if you guys like. So I'm like a huge, I'm a big fan of the Fantastic Four. I really like the Fantastic Four, and I'm very excited that they'll be able to do that. The thing that I think is so crazy about that. Thank you, Heather. I see that. Thank you. The thing that's so crazy about the MCU to me is that Trev, that's hilarious. The thing that's so crazy about the MCU is like we have gotten spoiled. It's an embarrassment of riches. It's an embarrassment of riches. And yet they have only scratched the surface of potential comic book stories, of potential comic book characters. Holy crap. Holy crap. This is going to be going on for the next 20, 30 years. We're going to get so much good stuff. There's so much stuff with them getting the X-Men back. Oh my goodness. Avengers versus X-Men. How hype is Avengers versus X-Men? Like, I think they're not going to do that like right away, but man, I cannot wait to see how they handle that. Craziness. Craziness. Yeah, the 20th anniversary. I kind of dig it. That could definitely work with that. And I love the X-Men. The thing is too, guys, I like the X-Men that we got. I like the X-Men that we got in the Fox universe. Like obviously like Logan's my favorite comic book movie of all time. Love Logan. Crazy the way they use that. But I like the X-Men that we got. Like First Class I thought was great. Days of Future Past is amazing. Like there's a lot of great stories in there. But overall, yeah, it does need cleaned up and I'm super excited to see the MCU version. But I'm still pumped. I'm still pumped to see Dark Phoenix. I thought it was so unfair the way that people reacted to the Dark Phoenix trailer. Like that's a swan song for those characters in that universe. Like can we just say that like thank you, you know what I mean? Yo, Stephen Campbell, good question. He says, with the Fox deal finalized in January, you think we will get an Easter egg for the new properties? I actually do. I do think we're going to get an Easter egg. I really do because of the timing of the movie and everything. I think that they'll do something like Mutiny post credit scenes. You know what I mean? Post credit. They definitely need to build up towards AVX. And they need to build the thing that they are able to do in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that is different that they did in the DCEU and the DC universe is like the reason Civil War, Tony versus Cap, the reason that worked is because you established that relationship. You established that friendship, you established those characters. It's established. It's a through line throughout the films. Now with Batman and Superman in the comics, in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, the reason it's impactful is because you have that, like, at the time, it was like 50, 60 years of history between those characters. Their relationship, Clark and Bruce are friends. You know what I mean? They're friends. They have history. And so the same thing needs to happen with Avengers versus X-Men. Like Wolverine needs to be established and has relationships. Like Storm and T'Challa, one of the big aspects of the Avengers versus X-Men is because Storm and T'Challa are married. Storm and T'Challa are married. You know, they're both like like she's a god in Africa and he's a king. You know what I mean? And very powerful. And that relationship needs to be pulled apart in front of us. What's up, Lior? I hope I'm saying your name right, by the way. Did we ever go over that before? What are Annihilus's powers? Well, he's a badass. And he also has that swarm, right? That's kind of the thing with Annihilus for me. He's just like uber powerful. We can look it up though. I don't know like exactly particularly um his like power set, but I believe he's just that's his race and he's very strong. He's sort of like the king. So they're like a swarm. They're like insects and he's just like the queen but not the queen, you know what I mean? DC only had the end game in mind and didn't bother to build it up. They wanted to have their own cinematic universe, but they didn't put the time. Yeah, they did not. Oh, yeah. The bands. Yes. I remember that. Um, are those similar or different to that one when the Silver Surfer got those? Doesn't he have the quantum bands at one point too? Or am I misremembering that? Dude, I totally remember that cosmic rod too. The cosmic rod, once again, going back to HeroClix, that was like an item you could have in HeroClix, and you would like pick it up. You basically like you roll a d6, like you would stand on it and pick it up. Danilo Salva. Who do you think is the rumored CGI character Doctor Strange supposedly has a meeting with for the major part of Avengers 4? What do you think about that theory? So I talked about this a little bit, but I'll go over it again. I think that is either Eternity or the Living Tribunal. My gut tells me it's Eternity, just because I don't think they want to do Living Tribunal yet in the MCU. It feels kind of like a maybe too much of a crazy idea to like introduce the idea of God essentially. Okay, it was Quasar. What was the red? There was like those red sash bands though that the Silver Surfer wears, and I think he becomes they call him the Keeper at one point. But anyways, so I think what's going to happen to answer your question about the CGI character Doc Strange is that they're going to be doing something. The Avengers are going to go into the quantum realm and they're going to like take the gems. So we're going to have two sets of gems and it's universe breaking. Like that's not supposed to happen. There's only one set of gems in each reality. They're singularities formed around the time of the universe. And so that's not supposed to happen. And so that'll be something that's happening. And Doctor Strange is basically going to plead to eternity and be like, yo, what's up? What's up? The real Manos in the house. So with losing my train of thought, sorry. So Doctor Strange will plead to eternity to get involved because we're breaking the universe. He's gonna be like, dude, you can't do this. You can't have two sets of gems. And that will allow like eternity will come in and then Thanos will beat eternity and become eternity. Leor, it is not we're not gonna see Adam Warlock in Avengers 4. You're good, brother. You're good. They did not have. It's just a timing thing, and he's just not established. I mean, he hasn't even come out of the cocoon yet. You know what I mean? Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I love that theory, by the way. I really do believe that that's where we're going with the Doc Strange. Like, and it's such a cool. Like Benedict Cumberbatch just owns that role, right? He just owns that role. I'm so happy to have him as a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and to have him play this big role in defeating Thanos, I think is awesome. So, okay, the Stephen Campbell, the Dormammu, right? I mean, maybe I thought about that too. I considered that, but I don't think like I just don't think Dormammu has the ability. That I don't know. I just don't think that that's the way they're going to go with it. To be completely honest with you, um, Dormammu on his own, I don't think is powerful enough to even give a fully gauntleted Thanos even a second thought. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like this: if you exist, if he leaves the dark dimension and comes into our dimension, Thanos could just turn it with that gauntlet. He could just turn him into whatever he wants. You know what I mean? Like I think that's a bad move for Dormammu, personally. Hela in Avengers 4, no, but I don't think we've seen the last of Hela. I think we're getting some more Hela. Because Kate Blanchett killed it in that role. She's an incredible, incredible actress. Loved it. Chilling, funny, good villain. I really hope we see more of her. Do you think the MCU, Mark Tyson, this is a great question. Do you think the MCU will move in different directions after Avengers 4? Yes, I do. And what I hope personally, and this is something I've said before in streams and stuff, but like I hope the way they go with it is like event films. So like instead of having like Thor 4, do like New Asgard or Fear Itself, where the serpent comes back and wants to be Odin and is giving out the weapons to villains, and you've got these Asgardian weapons given to these villains, and then the heroes have to make the Asgardian weapons. Like, I hope the way they go is like event film. So, like for instance, Secret Invasion. Like, I don't want Secret Invasion to be something they sprinkle throughout, and then we get a big culmination. And it's like at the end of it, we're like, okay, now we're doing the Secret Invasion movies. Like, no, Just do one big ass movie. Do one huge movie when it comes to Secret Invasion. Do one big movie. Secret Wars, right? Do one Secret Wars movie. I hope that's the way they go with the MCU. Or like for instance, like Nightmare. Like everybody's talking about Doc Strange, the next Doc Strange. Um, Nightmare being the villain. But like, don't just do Doc Strange in that movie. Like, and if you look at the pattern, by the way, this is not something I just pulled out of my butt. Like, this is the sort of there's precedence for this. When you look within the Farmer Thanos is the best. Yo, shout out to Marco. Shout out to Marco Vendetti. Farmer Thanos. Let's get it, son. I hope we get some Farmer Thanos after Avengers 4. Totally agree. Um, yeah, exactly. Dark Reign. Exactly, Trev. Exactly. But yeah, dude, Dark Reign is so good. So good. I really hope we get that. But yeah, so that's the direction I think they're going to go. And there's precedence from the MCU. I mean, they did Civil War. It's technically Captain America 3. You know what I mean? But it's not really. Sort of it is. But that's the kind of the way I want to go with it. But it's weird because they'll probably do a mixture of both because they just announced Black Panther 2. So like Black Panther 2 is happening. But is it going to be Black Panther 2 with Storm? You know what I mean? Is it going to be Black Panther 2 like that kind of craziness? You know what I mean? I think that's the direction we're going to go. So the cosmic seed, if I'm not mistaken, Jake, and I could be wrong here, is essentially another infinity stone. Am I right? It's like an infinity stone that is like the stone, it's like the one ring essentially, right? Am I wrong? I do not think they're going to do that either way. Just because like they're it makes more sense even if it's really weird for them to have multiple sets of the stones. At least that makes sense to the audience. Like they know what to expect from that. They know that yeah, I'm not up on that lore, but like essentially what I think is happening is there's precedence for the stones. Like if they use the stones, the casual audience will be like, this makes sense. You've got the stones over here. You've got the stones over here. We know what they do. This makes sense. So I think that's kind of, even though it's potentially even weirder, I think that there's because they've laid the groundwork for it, they'll go that way. Oh, yo, that's mad cool. I hope they go there eventually then, Jake. That's very interesting. Yo, the real A6, that's a very interesting. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So, with the real A6, we talked about this a little bit earlier, guys, but this idea that the stones don't cross timelines, they can't stay functional in other timelines or universes. That is definitely true in the comics. We do not know if that is true in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We do not know what the established rules there. Yeah. Well, Valkyrie, I think, guys, we know Valkyrie survived. And I think we're definitely going to see Valkyrie again. If anything, we'll see Valkyrie in the A Force movie, like with the female Avenger Squad or the Black Widow movie. Which, by the way, I'm super hyped on that Black Widow movie. Like there was a run. Oh, I'm blanking on the name of this run. It was like 3 years ago. It was a Black Widow run where she's trying to just like in the movie, she's trying to wipe out the red in her ledger, and she's going around and doing like her own missions and stuff like that. That could be so good. Like we have not seen that side of Natasha, like the espionage, the really dark side of that. And ScarJo just owns that role. You know what I mean? Like we all just love her in that role, and so I'm so excited to see what they'll do with her in a solo Black Widow movie. I say go low budget, go really intimate with the action, like a John Wick type of thing, um, but with Black Widow. Uh, Maybe sprinkle some Hawkeye in there. Really do some stuff like that. That'd be really cool. Well, Trev, I think Howard the Duck. Nice, Batman. Trev, I think it would be probably mostly Clint, right? I think that makes a lot of sense. But there's room to do other characters as well. You could do a flashback with her running into the Winter Soldier. Um, yeah, so stuff like that. Guys, let me know in the chat, just because I'm interested. What is your favorite Marvel character that they haven't done in the MCU yet that you really want in the MCU? I'll tell you mine too, but I want to know what you guys think. Red Hulk, dude, Batman, great choice. We've got Ross, of course, already in there. That'd be so cool if they did that. Silver Surfer would be great. Silver Surfer we haven't had because of obviously the you know what I mean, the deal with Doctor Doom. Great choice, dude. Oh my goodness. Kitty Pryde for sure. Great, great, great. Moon Knight. Yo, we got to get some Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. I really hope what we do with Moon Knight though is do the streaming shows. The streaming shows. Yeah, yo, Gambit's a good choice. I like Gambit too. There were some books back in the day where Gambit and Wolverine did some stuff together. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So for me, it would probably be Moon Knight, but I really like Taskmaster as well. And I really wish they would do Taskmaster. Probably my number one choice is Doctor Doom. Um, legit, guys, like legit, no lie. The thing I am most excited about, literally most excited about, with the Fox deal is the fact that we got Doom back. We've got Doom back. And by the way, Noah Hawley was developing a Doctor Doom movie. Noah Hawley, guys, is the guy that did the Legion television show, which if you have not watched Legion and you're a big comic book fan, do yourself a favor and go watch Legion. It's incredible. It's incredible. So he was working on a Doctor Doom movie. I really hope, I really, really hope that they take some of his ideas, they keep him on that project, that Marvel makes the Doctor Doom movie, or at least allows him to make a movie with Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four. Noah Hawley is great. Legion is incredible. Black Taskmaster in the Black Widow would be cool. I agree with that. I agree with that. Aubrey Plaza, so good, so weird too. You guys ever see her in interviews? You guys think I'm weird? Aubrey Plaza's on a whole nother level, whole nother level. Wonder Man could be cool. Wonder Man or Power Man, that would be really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Taskmaster's sweet, man. I would love to see me some Taskmaster. That'd be really cool. Namor, yeah. Yep, yep. Leora, I agree. The Hulk versus Wolverine thing would be really cool. I like Angela from Thor. That's a good choice, dude. That's a cool character. I love her design. She's a badass. Yeah, Spawn. I mean, you know, McFarlane's doing his Spawn thing kind of on his own and all that. Yeah, Namor versus Black Panther. That's another thing they have to establish, right? That's an AVX thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Can't wait to see the new version of the Thing as well. Because I didn't hate either of the Fox versions of the Thing, but they just didn't quite get it right. You know what I mean? Ooh, this is a good question by Jake about the Inhumans movie. What is Marvel gonna do with the Inhumans? Because it kind of feels like, especially because of that show, and the show did so badly, guys. It did so badly that I don't know if we'll ever get the proper version of Black. Oh my god, why am I blanking on this? The guy with the voice. Why am I blanking on this, homie? It's like one of my favorite characters. Black Bolt. Thank you, Trev. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get the good version of Black Bolt, which sucks. Yeah. Well, apparently that's the only good thing from the show. Batman was our Lockjaw, the big dog. No, okay, so the Avengers villain asks, but for the current power levels, excluding Hulk, Thor, Captain America, would Doctor Doom be too powerful for the current Avengers? It just kind of depends on how they build him. It depends on how they build that character up, what powers they give him. The current Doom, well, God Doom, obviously, yeah. The Doom that gets the Iron Man event thing and has his magic like leveled up, yeah, it really does seem that he would be too strong for them. But Doom is the thing that's so intriguing about Doom is that he's not really a villain. Like he's the best kind of villain because he's trying to be the hero and he just sees things differently. So the compelling aspect of Doom is his the fact that Latveria is, you can't just go to Latveria. The fact that he has diplomatic immunity. Like, do you ever hear old Stan Lee talk about Doctor Doom and how he had diplomatic immunity? Like, well, I thought it would be an interesting idea if you had a character whose biggest superpower was diplomatic immunity. And when he's on American soil, they can't just mess with him. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny. Yeah, totally. He's a more authoritarian Black Panther. Totally agree with that. Yeah, Leor, there's a good yo, bye girls with sabers. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the super chat. You guys are amazing. A good Doctor Doom comic, well, it just kind of depends. Like I kind of go to Doom 2099, which is Warren Ellis, and it's incredible. But um it's kind of like you kind of need to know more about Doom um to figure it out. I forget the name of the run where he beats man, there's a good run, but I'm blanking on it from back in the day. I think some of the most interesting Doom stuff is actually the Future Foundation stuff. So the Future Foundation stories, the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four, when the children go to live with Doom. So the Reed and Sue's kids live with Doctor Doom, and they make this arrangement, and they're all working together in the Future Foundations. It's very interesting. So I like that. I think it shows a really good side of Doom. And then, of course, um, Secret Wars, Jonathan Hickman, incredible. It looks at the psyche of Doom, because imagine if you were like God. What you would do as God would show a lot about you as not God. Does that make sense? If I could choose an MCU movie that hasn't been made, what would it be? Hmm. Well, okay, if I had to be super selfish, and this is just me, and they'll never do this because I'm one of the only people that like loves this run, but it would be Scarlet Spider. It would be the clone of Peter Parker, Kane, Scarlet Spider, and the solo run when he goes to Houston. He goes to Houston. He's gonna he busts up a drug deal. He takes all this money. And he's about to skip the border into Mexico, and then he sees them doing human trafficking. He's like, "Oh, I gotta shut this down." And he's like, "Okay, I'll shut this down, and then I'll go." He's like, "I'll do this one thing, and then I'll go." And he just keeps getting wrapped into being a hero. But I love that run. The Kane character, the Kane Scarlet Spider, is like one of my favorite characters. So I would probably say that. Guys, I'm probably going to go like 10 or 15 more minutes. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here, chatting about Avengers 4, just hanging out, doing a casual thing. So feel free to ask me some more questions. I'll go like 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'm getting out of here, okay? Off topic, but would you like to see what happens if Spawn was dropped in the MCU, like for a short? Yeah, I would be down. I would totally be down. Spawn's awesome. I'm really excited to see what McFarlane does with that too. Jake says, "Do you think that Marvel will combine Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor 4, and Nova into one big movie?" It's possible. I think what's going to happen is the Eternals movie, I think, is being streamlined. I think that will take the place of Guardians 3 in the cosmic sense, and I think they will do some new cosmic stuff. I think we're still going to get cosmic stuff. I think maybe they'll form Sword, because now that they've got the mutants and stuff like that, I think that it's like we've got the Shi'ar back, we got everything back. So maybe the Phoenix story, and maybe this is why people get so mad about Dark Phoenix, the Fox version, but that maybe we'll properly get that set up as the space odyssey, the space epic, the Shakespearean thing that it is. How many Quinjets are there? I have no idea. I think there's plenty, though. I think there's a ton of them. Right. Right. With Sharon leading sword. Yep. I think they could go that way. That'd be kind of cool. Jaysop, what about Loki, my friend? What are you curious when it comes to Loki? Okay, Khalil Dolph asks, "What do you think of the theory that the Power Stone is Galactus?" I love the theory. I love the idea. It's so cool to me that fans have these ideas. That fans like these ideas. But that one in particular, I just do not think has any. Like I think maybe diegetically it could make sense within the world, but it doesn't make sense when you think about Marvel and what they're trying to do with their audiences. Like they're not going to do that. It's too strange for them. You know what I mean? Is Loki coming back in Avengers 4? I think so. I think so. When I first heard those theories that like Loki's in Hulk or Loki is not really dead, I was like, dude, there's no way. I was like, there's no way. But the more you watch that scene, there's something going on there. There's something going on there. And it'll be just like Loki to come back. Or we're going to get an alternate version of Loki from an alternate dimension. That's what I think. Or Loki's in hell and is resurrected, and we get that kid Loki that we got in the comics at one point. No, I didn't see the Russo brothers tweet from last night. Hashtag wrapped. So they're done? Oh, great question, Kate. Which side characters do you think survived / died in the snap? Well, we know I think that Korg is alive. We know that Valkyrie's alive. We know Hawkeye's alive. I think somebody was saying it. I think it was Girls with Sabers about we could totally see a female Loki. Like, what if he's resurrected as a female? Totally works. No, I think the Loki TV show is gonna be like it's gonna be a continuation. Yeah, I think Cassie Lang's alive. Ned. Oh man, what if Ned's dusted? What if Ned is dusted? I don't know. Thor's roommate Daryl is alive. Yeah, well, they should do a short with that. That would be really funny. You know what I mean? Like he's at the coffee shop and everybody like dusts around him, and he's like, "Oh, what the hell?" You know what I mean? That'd be kind of funny. Blind Owl totally survived. Yes, technically different universe, but yeah. Lior, I think when it comes to the Black Widow movie, it's going to be an espionage thriller film with superhero sprinklings, which I think is perfect. And I talked about this a little bit earlier. Um, yeah, that's what I think about that. I think it's gonna be dope. I'm very excited. What if Daredevil was dusted? How hype are you guys for Daredevil season 3? I have heard so much good stuff happening. So many people are hype on that. I am so excited for Daredevil season 3. Let me know if you're excited in the comments section. But yeah, it'd be hilarious in like episode 2. He just goes out and gets dusted. It'd be hilarious. Well, okay, so when it comes to the Avengers movies after this, I think that you'll get like a new Avengers, maybe even Young Avengers, maybe Avengers World, um, Avengers Illuminati. There's a lot of different ways they could take it. Nice, Kate. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the Collector and the Grandmaster. I think they should totally meet. I think that would be awesome. I want to see a Contest of Champions movie. I think that would be very cool. I think that would be super duper cool. Illuminati. I think the Illuminati is like it's gonna happen. I think it's a great. I think it's a great piece of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It allows for interesting subplots and other big stories. I think they need to do it. I'm very excited for the Eternals movie too. I think it's going to be weird. It's going to be different, but I think it'll explain a lot about Thanos. Remember, we're getting the Thanos novel, which I don't know. They've said it's canon. They said it's not canon. We're getting a Thanos novel this December, which will probably talk about the Eternals. That's awesome. That's awesome, Kate. You would sell your own brother for another trinket. Yep, that's cool. Yeah, I think so too. I think there's gonna be a lot of big changes. Like after the Thanos event, there'll be a lot of big changes. The thing that's gonna be interesting though is like, is the world even gonna remember? Because one of the things they need to do, and this is like the trickiest to me, this is one of the trickiest things when it comes to the story. They need to undo what happened and yet leave some ramifications. They can't just wash the slate clean. The world has to know that the Thanos thing happened. They have to know that things were really bad. Um, it's important. It's important that those ramifications exist for the characters and for the story. But obviously they're going to undo the snap. So how do they rectify those two things? Do you know what I mean? That's going to be very interesting. Leor, I have thought about that. Um I have thought about that and I kind of want to do it. But right now my focus is kind of more on like doing the news show, doing some really great evergreen content, doing way more live streams with you guys, hanging out, really, formulating relationships with you guys, and just building up like what the Den of Nerds is. The Den of Nerds is like a fun place. I want to be fan first, like just having fun like we are right now. Just focusing on the fun of the fandom. That's what I really want to get back to. So not that necessarily those ideas contradict, but it actually takes a lot of energy and focus to like plan out these live streams, to do the show every day, 5 days a week, to really nail down the branding of what I want to do here. And Kate, Cap dying is definitely gonna be ramifications enough for the world, but I think what I'm trying to say is like, how do we undo that? How do we undo the snap and yet have something where like Captain America died for a big sacrifice. He died to save us. That's the thing, right? It has to be in order for it to be a sacrifice, it has to matter. But for it to matter, the threat had to be real. People had to know about it. Do you kind of get where I'm going with this? It's a weird. It has to. They have to figure that out. I'm excited to see how they do. Yeah, Batman. I'm working on more Dragon Ball content. We're gonna be doing more Dragon Ball content. I'm such a big fan of Dragon Ball. I am so excited for the Broly movie. I got a lot of stuff planned when it comes to Dragon Ball. Impossible Easter egg cards that got showing Infinity getting killed by a sword. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, the average villain. That's a very good. That's a thing, right? We've heard about this with the son, Tony perhaps having to sacrifice his son, perhaps having to sacrifice the future to save everybody. Yeah, it's very possible. But I think in that moment, like what might happen is that Cap like steps in and makes that sacrifice instead. You know what I mean? Yes, we definitely see eternity in Peter Quill's eyes in the Guardians of the Galaxy. See you, Kate. Bye, Kate. You are amazing. Kate's one of our Patreons, guys. So is Heather, by the way. Yeah, Verbal Kent, or stay in an alternate universe with Peggy and him living out their lives. It'd be so cool. I hope he gets an end cap like that, for sure. What, the Eternity thing in the post credits? I don't know if I saw that. It's very possible, Trev. There's something to that. I get what you're saying. Like, it is possible. I mean, we're gonna have to wait and see. That's one of the most exciting things. Is like what that sacrifice and everything like that. All right, guys. I'm gonna take 2 more questions, and then we're gonna get out of here. It's been super fun. I hope you guys are having fun. Hope you guys are having fun up in here with me today. When are we get Marvel cameo in Captain Marvel? Ooh, yeah. I think we will get. Well, Marvel, I think, is playing a big role in that actually. Adam Warlock post credit scene. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the post credit scenes will definitely set stuff up, but yeah. Ooh, good question by Jay Sop. Will we get a scene with every hero in Avengers 4 and not just the 11 at the start? Yes. There's a rumor of a massive scene that they shot with all the heroes in Avengers 4. This will either be at Tony's wedding or it will be at Captain America's funeral. The theory is it will be the predominant theory is that it will be the wedding because they want to go out on a positive note. Yep. I would like to see that kid from Iron Man 3 come back into things. That'd be kind of cool. That would be hella cool. Oh yeah, I saw someone ask earlier. Yes, they're definitely going to do Howard Stark in the next movie. Cap dies in their way, they're sacrificing the Avengers in their bond. If Cap dies, then in a way they're sacrificing their I guess I see where you're going with that. Yeah, in a way I guess they are. Iron Man 3 grows on me the more I watch it. When I first thought I was like, what the hell was that? And the more I watch it, I actually dig it. I mean, it's Shane Black. I think Shane Black's a good filmmaker. I didn't see Predator. People talk a lot of crap on Predator. But yeah. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. We're doing a lot of these fan chats. By the way, guys, if you have specific questions you want to go over for a fan chat, feel free to email me at thedenofnerds@gmail.com. Put fan chat or fan chat question or something in the subject line, and feel free to ask me your questions. The next time that I do one of these, which I think will be Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon, we'll do another one and we'll break down some stuff. And so yeah, let me know. And honestly, when we do Q&A, it doesn't always have to be to the topic. So like if you have a Star Wars question, you have a DC question, when we're doing Q&A like this and just hanging out, hit me up with your question. Not a big deal. Love chatting with you guys. Love just having fun. Okay. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It truly means a lot. Um, we're trying to do some really cool things here. I want to build a community with a bunch of awesome nerds that just love just coming together for our passion about these things and just having fun. So Yeah, we can talk Titans. I want to get that. I haven't got it yet, Heather, but I do want to get that and check that out. And I need to watch Star Wars Resistance as well. All right, guys, you guys are so awesome. Much love, much love. I hope you guys all have an awesome and a nerdy day, as I always say. And I'll see you in the next video.